only has the ability to regenerate. She used up her skills to form that body. It appears she has completely lost even her essential faculty of blood-sucking. Eh? Really? Really? The current looks of her are like something for an emergency evacuation. In exchange for almost sealing her skills, she has been preserving her life force. Talking about things she could do in her condition of a quadruple amputee, she went at length. Frankly, if she had sucked your blood for a meal, she would be in a lot better state than now. Then, I reflect. With a dim-witted mind, squeezing out an intelligence that wasn't there, I frantically reflect. I try to make it coherent. In order to recover her limbs from those three, even going as far as temporarily losing most of her skills including the blood-sucking faculty, was there a need to make me a subordinate? No, there wasn't. Ashino waved his hand sideways. Of course even that would be possible, and if you try asking her she will undoubtedly tell you so. However, that is most likely a reason affixed afterwards, I think. Heartenderblade just couldn't bring herself to kill you, I think. Vampires, especially Heartenderblade, don't really fancy creating subordinates. Even if they are about to die, they aren't inclined to save themselves by making a subordinate. Heartenderblade is Heartunderblade. In the stories I've heard, she seems to be a very different vampire. She was dying, and in order not to kill Ararajikan, she had no choice but to make you a subordinate. Life savior. If it's like that, then surely Kissshot was my life savior. That's right. To begin with, when Kissshot called out to me, she shouldn't have had the intention of making me a subordinate. www.bakatsuki.org web link 10/13. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari/Koyomi Vamp 009 Bakatsuki. Just a nourishment supply, a meal was the intention. Just an emergency measure was the intention. However, she said thanks. To someone who was basically a worthless human. To me, who offered his neck. Ararajikan, when you woke up here, Heartenderblade was sleeping nearby, right? She was using your arm like a pillow. Wasn't she caring for you all the time with constant supervision? Constant supervision, because the risk of going berserk is entailed to those converted into subordinates. She looked out so that didn't happen. Maybe I should say she watched over you. And then, after that, in order to save you, who carelessly exposed your own body under the sun, without hesitation she too rushed out under the sun while facing the risk of evaporating. Well, Ashino added. That may be closer to the affection humans have toward pets, though, but at least, Heartenderblade is trustworthy towards you. Trustworthy, huh? Therefore, if you don't believe her, it's pretty sad. Didn't I tell you before? The most important thing is a relationship of mutual trust, Ararajikan. Don't worry, you can turn back into a human. The problem may be after that, instead. After that. Thinking of yourself as a victim or something. Acting like a victim, it's hard to look at. Those were harsh words. I am perplexed by having such remark brought up. Well, I don't think I need to please you. However, I don't really have the intention of acting like a victim. That is enough. Don't forget what you just said, Ararajikan. In any case, looking from my point of view, though, you are too 20. 20. Ah, sorry, too naive. www.bakatsuki.org web link 11/13. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari/Koyomi Vamp 009 Bakatsuki. Ashino corrected himself. No, such slips of the tongue should be impossible. There is an appropriate reason for key I'm saying. Ararajikan, the reason you encountered a vampire, it is necessary you think about it more. Well, that was chance, wasn't it? It may be chance. However, what you must think about is the reason why that chance occurred. Well, but now, maybe it's better if you think about taking back Heartenderblade's limbs as first things first. I don't have any obligation to worry about you, however Ararajikan, that manner of fighting of yours makes me just a little uneasy. Well, I can't say, leave it all to me. That aside, if the specialist Ashino says it, I wonder if I'll be alright. That's right. Though she has a big attitude, certainly Kissshot is trustworthy towards me. She calls me a servant, but she thinks I owe her my life. If that's the case, I too must live up to her. Answering trust with trust, a relationship of mutual trust. Well then, she should have finished eating by now. Ah. Right. I must ask the details about the next opponent, episode. We opened the door and returned inside the room. Indeed, Kissshot Acerola Orion Hartenderblade changed her looks, from that of a 10-year-old girl, to that of a 12-year-old girl. She grew. While we weren't watching, she's gotten so big. Back to 008, return to main page, forward to 010, www.bakatsuki.org web link. www.bakatsuki.org web link 12/13. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 009 Bakatsuki. Title equals Monogatari _ series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi _ Vamp _ 009 and old it equals 289308. 2556 81722 TLG Translation Common Agreement V.0.4.1 www.bakatsuki.org web link 13/13. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 010 Bakatsuki. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 010. Bakatsuki. 010. In other words, you are saying that every time she eats one of the stolen limbs, the body of that child grows. Hanekawa showed her understanding like that. It is April 1st, immediately after the sunset. Kissshot is still sleeping. The vampire has days and nights reversed. Even for me it was the same. It was awkward to drag the honor student Hanekawa out at very late night hours, so I endured and rose early. A barrier is placed in the ruins of this cram school. So said Ashino. I was told it doesn't just conceal the existence of Kissshot and me, it even makes it difficult for ordinary persons without a guide to reach here. For this reason I made an arrangement with Hanekawa so that she comes nearby, and after the sun sinks I directly go to meet her. Hanekawa has come at the time promised and at the place designated. With her usual uniform. Yo. Hanekawa greeted me with a raised hand. It was an outgoing behavior that doesn't make me feel the awkwardness. This moderately informal interpersonal distance puts me at ease. Did you bring me the thing I requested? Sure. As you see. Good. Thank you. Well then, this way. And then I guided Hanekawa to the ruin of the cram school. Private property, no trespassing. www.bakatsuki.org web link. 1/15. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 010 Bakatsuki. We pass through the fence where the sign is affixed. Even the fence that surrounds the ruins of the cram school, appropriately for a ruin, is full of holes here and there, and we enter inside the building. Ashino was out negotiating, and Kissshot was sleeping. I have talked to Kissshot about bringing Hanekawa, but she didn't seem particularly interested. Because it might be a complicated conversation, we should have spoken in another classroom, but Hanekawa wanted to see what Kissshot looked like. Therefore, for talking to Hanekawa, I chose the same room on the second floor where I am usually passing time. On a corner Kissshot was indulging in indolence. This was the setting. It goes without saying that because planks are nailed on the windows of this room, even starlight doesn't enter. Having vampire eyes I don't have any problems, but Hanekawa has a normal eyesight, so I prepared a flashlight. Well, everything was prepared by Hanekawa though. And then I, after some gossip, After all, since spring break I haven't come in contact with newspapers or television, talked with Hanekawa until the morning of today. Hanekawa was listening attentively, looking very interested. Honor student. Her curiosity towards the unknown may be beyond average. I told her everything I could tell her. I didn't want to hide anything from her. Despite today being April 1st, I didn't want to lie to her. And then, when I finished talking about the growth of Kizhat's body, Hanekawa, in other words, you are saying that every time she eats one of the stolen limbs, the body of that child grows, said this. Although it is weird calling a vampire that lived 500 years that child, this is what happened, right? Humph. A moderate comprehension. Exactly, I nodded. The right leg. From the knee, she grew about 2 years ahead, right? Once the remaining limbs gets collected, maybe she can perfectly go back to her original looks. Of a 27 years old, I think. Well, talking like Frieza-sama, with the left leg and both arms, she is saving 2 transformations for later. www.bakatsuki.org web link. 2/15. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 010 Bakatsuki. Ah, that's easy to understand. While talking, Hanekawa was watching Kizhat, who was sleeping wheezing over the prefabricated bed Ashino built. Though a vampire, with a quick glance she didn't look like anything other than a lovely 12-year-old girl. The image of me and her being together inside an abandoned building could be really perceived with a tinge of criminality. I only pray Hanekawa doesn't view it this way. Well then, it's my fault maybe. Eh? What? That Ararajikan met a vampire. Why do you think so? Although I said I told everything I could tell, without wanting to hide anything, even I am not that much of an idiot. I thought I completely omitted the few passages about Hanekawa's panties and irobooks. However, this agitation was completely missing the mark. Don't they say speak of the devil and he shall appear? That proverb is relatively valid for ghost stories. Speak of it and the key will approach from the other side. However, I didn't That day I heard it from Hanekawa. We spoke about a vampire. At night, I went out alone and no, it would be ridiculous. If that was the case, Hanekawa, a vampire should have appeared even for you, who mentioned it to me. It's not like it had to. The likelihood did nothing but increase. Besides, even in front of me, for appearing, he has appeared, right? Ararajikan. www.bakatsuki.org web link 3/15. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 010 Bakatsuki. Ah. That's right. I am a vampire. I see midway on the route to face dramaturgy, the reason why in that place and time I unexpectedly met with Hanekawa, possibly, may have been because the chances of that had been raised. There is an appropriate reason for meeting K's. The reason I met a vampire, one can also think about it this way. Thinking that rumors precede K's very existence, thinking that because the rumor is made, the Key arises. It's along the lines of the so-called folklore. Because they exist the rumor comes out, because the rumor comes out they exist. It looks like the question about whether you like the egg or the chicken meat. I personally like eggs. The joke wasn't understood. Unexploded ordnance. You know everything. I don't know everything, I just know what I know. I see. Nodding. I return the conversation to the main thread. Leaving aside rumors and so on, Hanekawa, yesterday you were looking for a vampire of your own will. And because of that I was mad. Today, of course, she is not doing such things though. For what purpose were you doing that? A higher being, was it? Did you want to make small talk or something? Well, it's not like I was seriously searching for it. I would be asking for the moon. In some way, I don't know how to say it. Have you ever felt a desire for a change in your life? A change. In my case, more than a change in my life, it was my ecology which changed. www.bakatsuki.org web link 4/15. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 010 Bakatsuki. As I thought, it's unbearable. Though she is an honor student. Even Hanekawa, class reps of class reps, on occasions won't know how to say something. I was a little surprised. No, since she is human, that is natural. Because even for me who became a vampire the troubles didn't end. In fact, the troubles have rather multiplied. It is an escape from reality, in the end. I want to go back to reality. You can go back, I am sure. So Hanekawa told me. They were words that didn't have any guarantee behind, but they were words that made me happy. However, although I said I want to be of assistance if it comes to such a monstrous story, it doesn't look like there is much I can do. It's not true. I say. I point with a finger the luggage Hanekawa brought, which has been placed in a big backpack. They may be change of clothes and what else, but I thank you for bringing me daily necessities. Please, it's fine. At least this. Hanekawa blushed. That aside, how about quickly changing clothes? Your clothes are worn out. When I was picked up by you in such a state I was obviously surprised. Can't you borrow some clothes from the man called Ashino? He has only aloha shirts. And aloha is okay. If it's luha, sure, it's okay. 1. www.bakatsuki.org web link 5/15. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 010 Bakatsuki. I tried to line up words that were just similar. Incidentally, I don't know the meaning of luhas. However, that aside, there is obviously a limit to how much I can move with these clothes. It would be nice if I could use the matter creation power like Kiss Shot, but there is no way I can do such thing. I see air. Though. Obviously, I have a certain unwillingness to change clothes in front of a girl. If I change clothes I must undress even the lower body. But we are not in such a hurry. I'd say. Now I realized. Without reflecting about it, yesterday night I asked to Hanekawa bring me a change of clothes. A change of clothes in this case is not only shirts and trousers, aren't underpants included too? Air. Well, anyway, I think I can change at least the upper body. While I pretend to be calm, I stretch a hand inside the backpack Hanekawa brought me. It's packed splendidly. Well, she didn't put in only clothes. So I open the zipper, and they have been packed above the change of clothes. That is, the underpants were topmost. An M size fits you. Why yet? I don't know whether you use as underpants briefs or trunks, so I prepared both. It was an unnecessary concern. No. I'm sorry. It's my fault. My head doesn't really function too well. It's Hanekawa who had to buy briefs and trunks for my sake, surely she must have felt embarrassed. What's wrong? Won't you change clothes? www.bakatsuki.org web link 6/15. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 010 Bakatsuki. I will. I say, and I take out a plain shirt folded below the pants. No matter how I look at it, it's brand new. Notwithstanding that, without putting it in a bag, I see that she also cut the tag, and it seems that Hanekawa, after the purchase, washed it once, and after putting it in the dryer brought it to me. You didn't need to go that far. Are you taking pity on me, I wonder? For the time being I decided to take off the clothes of the upper body which were worn out, and I went through the arms in the sleeves of the plain shirts. I do it and, please wait. Hanekawa said. With that voice she halted my movements, but, oh no, now I am half naked. I was right, I thought it yesterday too. Ararajikan, your physique is changing a little. Now that you mention it? Just a little more muscular? No, it's not just a little, I've got a small six-pack. I was right. Hanekawa repeated. Yesterday when I noticed you from behind I was unsure you were really Ararajic and the attachment of your muscles was different. I have the impression they are becoming slender, or to better say tenser. What kind of person are you to be able to recognize from behind a young male student you almost didn't get in touch with? That's what bothers me. Mumble mumble. Suddenly, it appears Kissshot has opened her eyes. www.bakatsuki.org web link. 7/15. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari/Koyomi Vamp 010 Bakatsuki. Incidentally, when she grew even the attire and the hairdo were remodeled with the 10-years-old looks. She had a fluffy dress with a bobbed hair, but now that she is 12, the dress had a little more adult-like design, and the hair became long. Becoming a vampire changeth thy figure, because the regeneration power trieth to keep the flesh in the most healthy of conditions. Et. Zzz. Asleep. Saying just that, she fell asleep once again. Is she awake? Is she sleeping? However, didn't she inadvertently tell a wonderful thing? Well, it may be. Undoubtedly, after becoming a vampire, even the nails don't grow. I can neglect entering in a bath. I can't find that out in just 1 week, but certainly even the hair shouldn't have grown. And there was also that. I am meaning the moderate muscles of my body build. And this means that if I go further I should be able to become, like dramaturgy, strong-muscled, and I should also be able to shape-shift a part of my body into weapons. She fell asleep. Well, when she woke up she didn't look very well. That's her 500 years. It's a self-allegation, though. However, I feel like I don't believe my eyes. After saying so, Hanekawa added, "Please excuse me," and started touching my upper body. She slowly stroked the abs, and after that near the chest. Stroke. Stroke. Crap, I am a little aroused. It's like I am subjected to a tasteless prank. www.bakatsuki.org web link 8/15. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari/Koyomi Vamp 010 Bakatsuki. Judging from touch, you are identical to a human. However, somehow, you seem more elastic. It was simply intellectual curiosity. Well, it may have been that. Identical to a human, you say. Hanekawa, have you touched the body of other men? Eh? Oh no, I didn't, of all things. Flustered, she took away her hand from my body. Although late, she was a bit embarrassed. That's right. I blurted out conjecture. Not good. Would you quickly put on your shirt? Okay. I dressed. It may have been M size, but it felt a little large, but well, there is no problem in it being large. Also I like its plainness. It looks good. Ah. Thanks, or rather, I'm sorry. When all this ends, I'll immediately pay you back. It's fine. I have my New Year's money I've saved up since I was a child. Don't use such things. I can pay back the money, but I can't pay back memories. She is a bottomless girl. If I carelessly ask a favor, something unlooked for will happen. There are 2 parkas, they are packed below. Ah, 4 trousers or jeans, okay. Yeah. The preference goes to ease of movement. I judged waist size and cuff tucks with eye measurement, so if they seem tight or short, tell me. I'll go buy new ones. Even if they are a little tight, even if they are a little short, I will endure. I thought. www.bakatsuki.org web link 9/15. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 010 Bakatsuki. Even if I can't try them on here, I thought that for now I'll check the rest, and I rummaged the bottom of the backpack. And there I found a bag. That was the large-size paper bag of a bookstore. It appears there are 10 books inside. I tried taking it out, and that's a present. Hanekawa said. Yesterday you bought a book of Aikido, right? You left it in front of the school gate. Based on our conversation from earlier, it was to fight that big man, right? Well, kind of. She referred to that dramaturgy as big man. Unexpectedly she has some nerve. In the end, I felt the baseball textbook I bought together was more useful. The book you were reading when I met you. Does it matter? Yes, nodded Hanekawa. Well, having the caution of making preparations towards a fierce battle is a correct approach. I think I just thought that you were having a misunderstanding. Well, I know you say it's just haphazard. It's because yesterday she was watching my clumsy battle style. The resigned to luck, I'll entrust of everything to a battle style. Certainly, if by reading a manual one immediately mastered something, nobody would have problems. No, I wasn't meaning that. www.bakatsuki.org web link 1015. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 010 Bakatsuki. Said Hanekawa. Aikido and baseball are things that humans do, right? Well, certainly to dramaturgy a locking technique was meaningless. No, since his recovery power was not that great. If that time I broke the arm, there might have been some effect. Talk about brutality. However, it's not even that. I was not talking about being on the receiving end, but about what one can achieve. I am talking about what you could do. Aikido is a technique of humans. Baseball too is a sport of humans. At the present time certainly you are gifted with a strength superior to that of humans, and even if you use Aikido or baseball, I think that on the contrary it would restrain your strength in vain. Right. At present a baseball ball was too light for me. A shot was so-so. A roller finally felt adequate. Because all parameters were simultaneously increased, it was inevitably hard to become well aware of it, but for the present me, the techniques of humans may on the contrary become a hindrance. Therefore what you should read now, my thought, are these. Saying that, Hanekawa opened the paper bag I took out from the backpack, and exposed the contents to me. They were manga. Moreover, all Gakuen Inu Batoru. Boys in school uniform on the front covers. I tried searching, but I couldn't find vampire high schoolers as main characters, so I tried choosing stories where the main characters are boys who use ESP. You tried choosing. Perhaps, in this way. She opened a page. A main character-looking boy was running on the wall. The present you should be capable of a movement that disregards the laws of physics. www.bakatsuki.org web link 1115. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 010 Bakatsuki. I was involuntarily taken aback. No. Isn't this idea unexpectedly not so bad? On the contrary, it is fairly good. You didn't lose the common sense from when you were a human, said dramaturgy. His words suggested he, like me, was a former human. And in the actual fight, as foretold, because I was thinking inside the box of that common sense, I got into an unnecessary pinch. Since I could even backflip, I should be able to run on walls. Well thought. I tried going on reading, it was fairly interesting. It was a manga I didn't know, but certainly it seemed interesting. The books I personally recommend are romances, but thinking about the purpose, the ones more immediate should be manga. Because by memorizing with a picture is easier to leave something in memory. I agree. Well, please let me give them as a reference. Also, I think you better still go choose them to your liking. Thank you. However, when we talked last night, I didn't tell to Hanekawa that I had yet to face episode and guillotine cutter later, and yet these quality preparations. As I thought, she is no ordinary person. Here. This is a book card for those occasions. The preparations are too good. Was Cash better? Cash sucks. What the heck am I saying? Anyway, I am grateful for receiving so much concern from Hanekawa. Book card included. Well, I really don't have any money. www.bakatsuki.org web link 12/15. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 010 Bakatsuki. I spent too much on books. You are a big help, Hanekawa. I will absolutely repay you. No. What I can do is just this. Just this is more than enough. To tell the truth, it's reassuring. If she turned the other way, I would have really been helpless. I can't call Ashino a friend, and Kiss Shot was the source of the circumstances, moreover a vampire. I've never thought that just being able to chat with another person would soothe me this much. No, she is not another person, she is a friend. Truly thank you. No way, in times of trouble we have equal standing. If there is something else you want me to do, Araragi-kun, feel free to say anything. This was the best I could do now though. Yeah. I'll rely on you. That's right. Now let's clean this room. It is in total disorder, Hanekawa said. Well, this is an abandoned building, you know. The instant I said it, Hanekawa has already started moving. Hey, wait a minute, I won't force you to do this much. Don't bother, it was like this from the start. That's even more the reason why you mustn't leave it untidy. Any place that you can tidy up, you must always tidy it up. What is this? Hanekawa picked up something from a corner of the room. For a moment I didn't understand what the heck it was that. However, it became immediately clear. That was similarly a large bookshop bag. However, it's not the one Hanekawa brought, and neither the one I bought yesterday, in which there were the Aikido, baseball, classical music books. However, it was a bag I recognize. And then I realize. Yes. www.bakatsuki.org web link 13/15. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 010 Bakatsuki. That was the bag with the 2 books, which I should have thrown away the first day of the spring break. Mumble in background. Kiss Shot was talking in her sleep. I forgot to say to thee. The bag thou wert carrying, which looked important, fell on the roadside, so when we came here, I took care picking it up for thee. Why you there? Zzz. Fallen asleep. Ooh. Hanekawa was staring at the contents of the bag. A female high schooler was staring at an book of female high schoolers. Let's see, you met a vampire returning from a bookstore, wasn't it? At March the 25th? The night of the day you crossed paths with me. Amazing. What phenomenal intuition. Hey wait, aren't you by any chance making my most unwished-for misunderstanding? He. Hanekawa raised her face, and looked at me with a grin that covered her face. The flashlight was illuminating her from below, and that made her look like a key. And then she takes out a book from the bag, and opens it to a certain page. In that page, dreadfully, an exceedingly ridiculous scheme, namely special feature, class reps with glasses unfolded. Hanekawa with a very soft purring voice said. Hey. What is this? Translator's notes. 1. Lifestyles of health and sustainability. Market segment made of ecologically conscious consumers. www.bakatsuki.org web link 14/15. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 010 Bakatsuki. Back to 009 return to main page forward to 011 www.bakatsuki.org web link. Title equals Monogatari _ series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi _ Vamp _ 010 and olded equals 324098. 28 2557 1930 TLG Translation Common Agreement V.0.4.1 www.bakatsuki.org web link 15/15 August 7, 2015 Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 011 Bakatsuki Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 011 Bakatsuki 011 Episode. A guy with senpaku eyes, one wearing a white uniform, and carrying on his shoulder in one hand a gigantic cross, 3 times his height, the cube of his weight. He is a vampire hunter, I hear. He hunts vampires aiming for monetary reward, you could say he is a hitman. And then furthermore, in addition, at the same time, he is a half vampire. Hunter and half. From a certain angle he could look like nothing but a youngster, but on the contrary he is a specialist in vampire exorcism who stole Kishot's left leg. This is episode. You are late. 3 days since then, April 4th. The lineup of Illumend numbers suddenly made me uneasy, but even if I fuss over such a thing that I have no control over, I still can't do anything about it. I tried to check the time on my wristwatch, and I noticed I forgot to put on my wristwatch. Then I thought I'd check it on my cell phone, and I even forgot my cell phone. Disconcerting. As I thought, I am not calm. Well, whatever, because when it comes to it, the person I want to get in touch with, Ashinomim, a vagrant-like person, doesn't own a cell phone or a PHS. 3. But then, as said by the person himself, it seems he is an idiot with electronics. Well, the cell phone is a tool that seems rather barely related to spirits and Ks. www.bakatsuki.org web link 1/25 August 7, 2015 Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 011 Bakatsuki. That aside, the night of April 4th. Once again I went to the school field of Naoitsu Private High School at night. Naturally the second battle. To fight with the second specialist at vampire exorcism, episode. In these 3 days, I considered many things. However, I ultimately settled on going unarmed, similar to the fight with dramaturgy. It is better not to carry weapons. I followed the opinion of Hanekawa. Well, a normal weapon might not withstand your present superhuman strength as a vampire, and even assuming you prepared a weapon that could withstand it, if you were walking around carrying it and a policeman questioned you, what would you do? Now, she really had a point. Well, now that you mention it, I think those vampire exorcists should receive questioning from authorities for sure. Those people are professionals, aren't they? Won't they know ways to avert that at least? Thinking about it, dramaturgy was able to turn his body into fog. I guess he is thinking outside those people's boxes. It follows that I'm unarmed. I feel like I'm not capitalizing on the lessons acquired from my blunder of having challenged dramaturgy's 2 wavy blades empty-handed the previous time, but Hanekawa, I owe her one, taught me a few things she could observe from that fight, even if she was just watching from behind the building. Essentially, she found my faults. Making the best of that experience, I will fight. As usual, Kishot's advice was hardly of use. Below I'll recall the scene of when I received Kishot's advice. Vampire hunter and half vampire. Well, I too know at least that of vampire terminology, however Kishot, can't I receive information that is a little more detailed? The 12-year-old looking Kishot, however, to my question, replied this. www.bakatsuki.org web link 2/25 August 7, 2015 Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 011 Bakatsuki. I forgot. she said. She forgot. As always, throwing out her chest with a proud attitude, because passing from a 10-year-old to a 12-year-old she was experiencing the so-called age of secondary sexual characteristics. The puffing of the chest in itself indeed happened, however certainly it was not because of proud words. My memory is failing. Ah, did I tell thee before? Those are amusing words. Wait a minute. Saying that, Kizshot put her right hand beside the face in a hand chop, and without taking aim she thrusted those 4 fingernails in her own temple. The tiny right hand sank in the head of the blonde girl up to the wrist. The blood gushed out like crazy, evaporated and vanished. Hey. Wait a minute. I will remember at once. Like that, Kizshot crudely stirred up her own cranium, that is the squashy cerebral insides. From the wound not only blood, but also a liquid which was probably spinal fluid spilled out whistling. No. This is totally unsuitable for an anime. Her fingers became entangled even in the ocular muscles or something, because her right eye was exhibiting a novel movement that could only make you think it has been possessed by the devil. She is literally searching her mind. What a mnemonic technique. At last Kizshot extracted the deep red stained hand. She was smiling, refreshed. I remembered. www.bakatsuki.org web link 3/25. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari/Koyomi Vamp 011 Bakatsuki. What? I interrupted, while seeing that even the blood that stained the hair was still evaporating. What did you remember? As also clear from the fact that dramaturgy tried to make thee a comrade, he was not hunting vampires because he hated them, but episode is different. He hath an antipathy towards vampires. Antipathy? How come isn't he 50% vampire? Well, since he is a hunter, I'm sure he at least is not an ally, but well, about the half vampires, since the samples are scarce to begin with, I cannot draw a conclusion, but in most cases, they hate vampires. Why? Well, simply put, because a half vampire is an entity not accepted by the vampire world. On the other hand, it is not like the human world could accept him either. Hence he hates his vampire blood. Shouldn't he hate humans as well, then? He may not like them, however, what's the point for thee to hate people who are weaker than thyself? Kizshot said a blunt thing. Though a half, his strength cannot be compared to that of an average human. Above all, episode seemeth to bear a strong hatred towards vampires. I do not know in which way he was raised. Well, he must have been raised in a way that is better to be left unknown. Therefore do not think he will simply give up. Unlike dramaturgy, he is acting out of personal feelings rather than work. So he is not as committed to professionalism as dramaturgy. Half vampires, in exchange for an immortality even weaker than that of a vampire's, are characterized by almost not bearing the weak points of a vampire. They can even walk under the sun, and they can even cast a shadow. They can cast a shadow. In other words, talking about the converse, in exchange for having the advantages halved, they are stripped of almost all the weak points. I see. It depends, but not having weak points makes one a little formidable. www.bakatsuki.org web link 4/25. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari/Koyomi Vamp 011 Bakatsuki. What can I do to win? Well, how about doing as usual? Thanks for your overconfidence in me. That said, the night of the appointed day has come. During these 3 days, I was absorbed with reading manga. Looking from an external point of view, well, I was idling, or if not that, I was feeling like doing nothing, but I couldn't help it. You could say I covered almost all the manga of the Gakuen Inobatora genre published in major magazines. It's a mystery, but if you read driven by necessity, no matter how interesting the manga is, the hand that turns the pages over becomes slow. including today. Since then Hanekawa has come to the cramming school immediately after sunset to deliver me manga daily, so I couldn't say it was already enough. I have even received a book card, but in the end it was better for me not to go out that much. So said Ashino. The night of April 1st, exactly, immediately after Hanekawa went home, Ashino came back. It happened then. I even thought I could almost introduce Hanekawa, but since it appeared Ashino chose expressly the time Hanekawa went home to return, I presumed I wasn't supposed to interfere. I talk from a neutral standpoint, but that's a nice idea. That class reption is sharp. After Ashino said that, however, I believe I have to speak against you going out save for the day of the showdowns. He continued. Because there is the possibility that they are aiming for that time. Well, but this should be covered by your negotiations. The key of a negotiation is not giving the opponent any chance, you know. I don't think they will meddle with you, but you may not find it fun to be followed. Even if I am followed, this place won't be discovered, right? It's a barrier that only the residents, me, Kizshot, and also the man who affixed it himself, Ashino can enter. I believe he told me this was the effectiveness of the barrier. Well, I am confident about the barrier. However, I'd like to thwart the minimum possibilities. The possibilities. www.bakatsuki.org web link. 5/25. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari/Koyomi Vamp 011 Bakatsuki. Class reption will come tomorrow too, right? If you wish to increase the variety of the manga you read, try asking her in that occasion. I think that since there is a barrier, even if she comes here twice or thrice, she will get lost, though I have no choice but to include her. But obviously, since I can't help you, if you say class reption is out, you will have to rely on your other friends. There isn't any other friend. I have no choice but to rely on Hanekawa. If you've finished reading it, lend it to me too. And with that single irritating word, Ashino left. He came back and then immediately went out. But when does he sleep? I have often seen him lying down, but come to think of it, I've never seen him sleeping. Is he working so hard on the negotiations? If so, then maybe I could at least lend him manga. And Hanekawa is a really nice person. The next day, that is to say April 2nd, when she came back to the ruins of the cramming school, I made the request, and immediately she took upon herself the role of person in charge of purchases in reply, and from then until today, that is to say April 4th, for 3 consecutive days she went buying her recommended manga and my requested manga. She is too nice. Today I went out after 3 days and good luck. She cheered me with words of encouragement. They were simple words, but they filled my heart. Really. If I return to human form, I wonder what I can do to thank her. However, at that time I was off the mark. About the strength of the girl called Hanekawa Tsubasa. And I had yet to grasp the amount of danger involved by now. www.bakatsuki.org web link 6/25. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari/Koyomi Vamp 011 Bakatsuki. I think that guy actually went back home while I murmured something terribly idyllic. If looking back from future developments, at last, episode appeared. He appeared on the Naoitsu private high school sport field. In the guise of fog he appeared. Vampire hunter. Half vampire. He doesn't have the weak points of a vampire. However, even if weakened by half, the abilities of a vampire remained. A guy with a thin lines image and senpaku eyes. White uniform. He looked very young, but the gigantic cross carried on a shoulder with one hand refuted this impression. With a faint smile like on that day, he gave me a sharp glare. Episode. The guy who had stolen Kishot's left leg. That's hilarious. He suddenly said. Not even a word of apology for coming late. Really, it makes me laugh. Chief dramaturgy was reverse exorcised by a brat like you, of all things. Talk about slacking off. I really hate vampires' guts, including those of fellow vampire exorcists, and yet I still respected Chief dramaturgy, him alone. He was full of hostility and spite. On top of that, he was looking down on me. Well, if he hates vampires and humans, a former human like me who has just become a vampire must be his most hated type. Well, what should I do with you, brat? www.bakatsuki.org web link 7/25. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 011 Bakatsuki. You tell me. This is a fight. In what fashion should I fight you? I'm cool even with something non-violent. I feel like I will never lose to the likes of you. I'm sorry. I say. Apart from being Kiss Hot's subordinate, I'm just a normal person. Among other things, I was even a dunce. I can only go with vampire hunters and vampires. Besides, I don't think I can beat you in anything but rock paper scissors. Aw, man. That's hilarious. I'm seriously laughing my head off, said Episode. You are unexpectedly a chicken. I've hunted some former human vampires, but they all got carried away more. Like they felt they had become all-powerful. Just because they obtained an ability akin to a mosquito, they put on the airs of world leaders. That's hilarious. I don't know how much he strives for local lingo, but for this guy with a dangerous cross on the shoulder repeating "that's hilarious" over and over can't help but feel so out of place. For I don't know what the person himself thinks about it, though. Well, I teach reality to those guys though. But it seems you don't need it. It spares me the work. Therefore, today is a special service. Episode said, closing one eye. That may have been a wink. I'll kill you in such a way your side effect won't play out. I've already heard those words before. It's my catchphrase. That's hilarious, right? When you'll imitate me, set it up properly. Saying this, Episode offered the hand from the side that didn't carry the cross. A handshake? A handshake before a fight? The guy is surprisingly polite. While thinking that, I tried to grasp that hand, however in that instant Episode quickly moved it. www.bakatsuki.org web link. 8/25. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 011 Bakatsuki. And formed scissors with it. Yeah, I win. You can't defeat me in rock paper scissors either, therefore I'll beat you even in vampire hunters and vampires. Ashino is the type that I'm not good with. I said. But you are the type that I hate. Oh man, if you say this to people like me, you can't fight Guillotine Cutter. Not even I can come close to his nastiness. Well, since tonight you will lose against me, luckily you won't ever have to fight him though. You are very self-confident. You could say that. However, he said. I agree that man, Ashino is a twisted bastard. Man, that's hilarious. Because he put up this farce, be it with a former human vampire or a genuine vampire, I've never done such a fair and square battle. Let me hear the terms. Yeah. If I win you'll tell me Heartenderblade's whereabouts. In the fat chance you defeat me I'll return the left leg of that girl. This kind of thing. Yeah, exactly. By the way, do you understand the meaning of these terms? Episode continued with a grinning face while I nodded. It's forbidden to fight to kill in this battle. In order to get Heartenderblade's whereabouts from you, I can't kill you. If you want to get back from me the left leg of that girl, you can't kill me either. The action seems rough, yet it draws a line from being a death match. It's a peaceful thing. A game. Ashino defined it in that manner. It is not a death match, but a game. www.bakatsuki.org web link. 9/25. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 011 Bakatsuki. And it's like you say. Dramaturgy, guillotine cutter, me too, we are all professional, you don't have any odds of victory unless you do things this way. He chose the method that gave you some chance. For real? This is to balance things. That glib man, did he think this far, and set up this kind of fight? His neutral negotiation service. 2 million yen, he asked. Well, obviously, if I just knew Kiss shot Acerola Orion Hartenderblade's whereabouts, you and that woman, together, guess what, I'd kill you in such a way your side effect won't play out, you know. Episode laughs. Just so you know, don't think I'll go easy on you. I hate bullying the weak, but I love bullying villains. Am I a villain? You must be. You are a monster after all. Even you. Even you are the same. I couldn't say that. He is just half. Eh? Even you what? If there's something you want to say, spit it out. No, it's nothing. There is nothing I want to say. Let's begin. Yeah, let's finish this. The introduction was over. Contrary to the time I fought dramaturgy, it was me who attacked first. In fact, I was thinking only about making the first move. In fact, I don't have any fighting experience. If I turn defensive, I'll start shaking in no time, and I won't understand what's going on before my eyes anymore. I should at least launch myself into offense. With a movement I saw in a manga, I rushed in and unleashed a punch I placed all my body weight on. However, that punch cut the air. www.bakatsuki.org web link 10/25. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 011 Bakatsuki. Or to better say, it cut the fog. In an instant, episode changed his body into fog. It is impossible to hit the fog. I was drawn in by the arm in which I placed my body weight on in a weird pose, and staggered forward. This is bad, the counterattack will come, and I put myself on guard. However, having turned into fog, even the other person was likewise unable to attack. Episode, turned to fog together with a huge cross. Sorry, but in raw strength I'm no match for you, the key killer's subordinate. I don't plan to fight you in close combat, he said, while in form of fog he restored his body in a place quite distant from me. Even the cross was reconstituted. The cross became fog too. Is it a part of his body, like with dramaturgy? No, I am mistaken. If I had to say it, he handles it in the same way as the clothes. The same as dramaturgy and Kishot's clothes. It must be that. What are you planning to do from that far away? I'll do this, said episode, and he threw that gigantic cross towards me. Offhandedly, unlike what I did when I faced dramaturgy before, he didn't have a pitching stance or anything, he threw it just using raw power. Whoa. It was completely unexpected. Don't tell me he throws that gigantic cross, 3 times his height. Well, if we go there, I was going to throw a roller too, but a vampire hunter that throws crosses? This guy is not pious at all. I had thought of it was a weapon, but I was adamant he was just going to use it like a broad axe. Cut. www.bakatsuki.org web link 11/25. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 011 Bakatsuki. At the last moment I dodged it. I dodged, and mentally cursed. Am I stupid? Will I ever learn I don't have any need to dodge the opponent's attack? After all, with the regenerative power that comes from being Kishot's subordinate, I'll be healed in the blink of an eye. I thought I had to make the best of that advantage. That may be the common sense from when I was a human, but I unintentionally dodged by reflex. It was because I could see it with vampire eyes. However, this time it was a blessing. The cross I thought I dodged, as a matter of fact, just barely grazed my right shoulder, and that right shoulder, the following instant, burst into flames. It flared up. It evaporated. Exactly like the time I basked under the sunlight. The cross. I mean, isn't it a weak point of all vampires? Even I knew at least that. Episode was carrying it like it was overly ordinary. Furthermore, its extreme conspicuity was on the contrary a blind spot, that is, he was so completely unperturbed by me noticing it that I left it out of my consideration. I see. As a half-vampire, Episode doesn't have the weak points of the vampire. In other words, he is unfazed by crosses. The cross. A gigantic cross. And that weapon, it looked like there was nothing to it, but if I touched it directly, it seems that the effect comes out. That terrific effect. The evaporated skin, in addition, doesn't regenerate. Well, it's not like it doesn't regenerate, although the regeneration is abnormally slow. Even if it's the recovery power of the subordinate of Kiss Shot, it doesn't catch up. Then this is bad more than with the sun. www.bakatsuki.org web link 12/25. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 011 Bakatsuki. One just touched it directly and it had an instant effect. And just by a scratch I am in this state. What would have happened if I took the blow directly? While I was worrying over my wound, once again Episode turned into fog, and in the form of fog he switched places. I was convinced he would have come here to attack me. However, as previously stated, Episode didn't get close. Speaking of where he went, it was the spot he threw the gigantic cross at a moment ago. Having grazed my shoulder tip, it pierced the sport field with a 10-meter long tip up to half its length. Episode restored his flesh nearby and then he uprooted the buried cross. Come to think of it, when you fought with Chief Dramaturgy, you threw things from far away. Nice idea. I too, when I fight with Dramaturgy lookalikes, use the same trick like this. So saying, he threw the cross a second time. Aimed at me. This time I avoided perfectly. However, while it might be true I dodged it, I couldn't relax. It took me a while to understand what kind of battle plan Episode decided for me, but now I got all the details. In the previous battle with Dramaturgy, Hanekawa observed basically two faults. The first one: if your opponent did the same, what would you do? Was this. With the physical strength of that big man, if he threw back your shot or roller, what would you have done? And then the second one. The scary thing with attacks from long range, more than anything else, is running out of ammunitions. Because you throw your weapon even if the cage was full of balls, I think it was a poor move throwing them without thinking. What Episode was doing now against a vampire like me was admirably free from those two faults. First, the throwing of that cross. www.bakatsuki.org web link 13/25. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 011 Bakatsuki. No matter how much I try, I can't throw back that cross. In what way can I throw a cross I can't even touch? The moment I touch it, the part that touched it evaporates. Furthermore, there is no worry of running out of ammunitions. He turns into fog and he can go taking back the tossed cross by himself. Half vampire, he is unfazed with touching crosses. He can turn his body into fog. He is making the best use of his own advantages. Heck, he is using even the weak points. That's hilarious. As supporting my conjecture, once again he restored his body nearby the cross stuck into the ground. And then with all his strength he pulled it out. I'll slowly shave you to death like this, I beg you. At least take care of not getting your heart hit. It's not like I can kill you. While speaking, a surprise throw. I can dodge it. This maybe is because, as he said, I top him in terms of power. Even the arm strength of a half-vampire can bring forth plenty of speed, and yet it is not something that can surpass the eyesight and explosive power of me as a full vampire. Although as it is, certainly, he will shave me to death. I don't have any card to play. In the Gakuen Inubatoru books I've read in these 3 days, there wasn't this kind of development. I turn around. As I thought, the cross was stuck into the ground. That was exactly like a grave marker. The cross stuck into the sport field. And then nearby there, his shape arose. You can give up, although in any case tomorrow I'll kill you. You can think I have a one-track mind, you can think I'm stuck in a rut, I don't care, I'll kill you with the same technique I'm using now because vampires are helpless against crosses. www.bakatsuki.org web link 1425. August 7, 2015. Monogatari series Kizumonogatari / Koyomi Vamp 011 Bakatsuki. He is a professional. Although he acts from personal motives, he is a pro too. I look at the shoulder wound received in the beginning. It still hasn't completely regenerated. I keep feeling a violent pain. I have no plan. At any rate, unless it was a short conclusive battle, there were no ways for the experienceless me to win against an experienced opponent, although, against his careful setup I can do nothing. Thus I'm in a desperate situation. Even if I run to the physical storehouse, with the opponent being fogged, there is no meaning to throw shots or rollers. What kind of counterattack should I do against an opponent who won't be hit by physical blows? Due to the panic, the body completely stiffened. If I'm like this, I won't avoid episode's next attack. I somehow came up with this strangely calm conclusion. It happened then. A Ararajikan. That yell reached my ears. An auditory hallucination.